holiday?
Yes!
Though you not be mechanical, you ought not walk abroad upon a labouring day without the sign of your profession. Speak, what trade art thou?
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Where is thy leather apron and thy robe? What dost thou with thy best apparel on you, sir? What trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave, thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with the all. I meddle with no tradesman's matters, nor women's matters, but with all. I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they're in great danger, I recover them. As proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork.
But wherefore is not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out the shoes to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we may call it to see Caesar and rejoice in his triumph.
Therefore rejoice! What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, stones, western senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome, knew you not Pompey? Many a time and often have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout? The Tiber trembled underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores. And you now put on your best attire. Yeah! You now cut out a holiday. Yeah! You now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood. Yeah! Gone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees. To pray to your gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Campania. For our elders say the Baron, touched in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on, and leave no ceremony out.
Bid every noise be still, peace yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a voice, shriller than all the music. Cry Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me, let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He's a dreamer. Let us leave him! Pass!
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not
I pray you do.
No, I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Oh, let me not hinder Cassius your desires, I'll leave you.
Brutus! I do observe you now, Blades. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. How vexed I am of late, with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil, perhaps, to my behaviours. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passions, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other thing.
'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus, and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eye.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me.
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laugher, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester, if you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means the shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
I do fear it. Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? Hmm? What is it you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me, as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward fame. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lieve not be, as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, So from the waves of Tiber did I, the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature, and must bend his body of Caesar carelessly, but not on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their colour fly, and that same eye whose bend doth o'er the world did lose his lustre. I did hear him grow. Aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas, he cried, give me some drink, Titinius, as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me. A man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honours that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride another world like a colossus, and we, petty men, walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonourable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the name of all the gods at once. Upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Age thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood? But it was famed with but one man. When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompass but one man? Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough, when there is in it but one only man. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say, there was a Brutus once, that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome, as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I have nothing jealous. What you would move me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present, I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. To when, my noble friend, chew upon this, Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome, under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck with thus much of fire from Brutus.
The games are done. Caesar is returning.
As they passed by, plucked Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his Tsar fashion, tell us what had proceeded where they noted today.
I will do so. But look, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow.
And all the rest look like a chidden train. Calphurnia's cheek is pale.
And Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol being crossed in conference by some senator.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius, Caesar, let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men and such as sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles. and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart seas, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I'd rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this here is death, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of me.
You pulled me by the sleeve. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Well, tell us, what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad?
Why, you were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what had chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him. And being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus. And then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry was. And he put it by thrice. Every time gentler than other. And at every putting by, mine honest neighbours shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it. Gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery, I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown. Yet it was not a crown neither. It was one of these coronets. And, as I told you, he put it by once. But, for all that, to my thinking he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. He put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. Then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by. And still as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and shouted, and clapped their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown, that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for my own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
It's very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar has it not. But you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that. But I am sure Caesar fell down. If the tag-rag people did not clap him and hiss him, according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players in the theatre, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me up his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I'd been a man of any occupation. If I had not taken him at his word, I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came unto himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches with eyes to cried, alas, poor soul, and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, it had done no less.
And after that, he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I'll tell you that, I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled one another and shook their heads. But for my own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news, too. Morales and Flavius, for pulling scarves off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Farewell. There was more foolery yet, if I can remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I'm promised 4.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
if I be alive and your mind whole. Oh, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you then.
Do so. Farewell, both.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick-mental when he went to school.
So is he now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
So it is. Well, for this time I must leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or if you please, you come home to me, I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honourable mettle may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore 'tis meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who's so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. Were I Brutus now, and he were Cassius, he should not humour me. I will this night, in several hands in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved when all the swear the earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I've seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I've seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest-stoving fire.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
Against the Capitol, I met a lion who glared upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And they were drawn upon a heap, 100 ghastly women transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in firework up and down the streets. And yesterday, the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say they are their reasons, they are natural.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come, Caesar, to the Capitol tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you. He will be there tomorrow.
Good night, then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman?
Casca by your voice.
It is good. Cassius, what a night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I've walked about the streets submitting me unto the perilous night.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens?
You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars to the line of the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action. A prodigious grown, and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors. But woe the while, our fathers' minds are dead.
and we are governed by our mother spirits.
Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as their king, and he'll wear his crown by sea and land in every place save here in Italy.
I know where our friend is dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, ye make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, ye tyrants to defeat. Nor stony towers, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeons, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. But, oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a one that is no fleering telltale. Hold, take my hand. Be factious redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already as some certain of the noblest-minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honourable, dangerous consequence.
But be so on, here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna to him by his gate, his friend. Cinna! Where haste do so?
To find out you. Who's that? Metellus Simba?
No, Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stay for?
I am glad on't. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange
Am I not stay
sights.
for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content? Good sinner, take this paper, and you can lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it. Throw this in at his window, set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. This done, repair to Pompey's porch where you may find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Metellus Simba, and he's gone to seek you at your house.
That done, repair to Pompey's theatre. Come fast. You and I will yet a day see Brutus in his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
He sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offence in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth, and our great need of him, you have right well conceited. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and yet a day we will awaken, and be sure of him.
Boy. Lucius? I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say, what, Lucius? Must be by his death. For my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him. But for the general, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves weary walking. Crown him. And then I grant we put a sting in him that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. Yet 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning those base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then lest he may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no colour for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities. Therefore, think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Take the bank, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I'm sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get thee to bed again, boy, it is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
Brutus, thou sleepst, awake and see thyself. Shall Rome speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepst, awake. Shall Rome, thus must I piece it out, shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 14 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate. Since Cassius first did whet me against Caesar, I have not slept. And between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council. And the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favour.
Let him enter. Now there the faction. Oh, conspiracy. Shamest thou to show thy face by night when evils are most free? Oh, then by day where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dark enough to hide thee from prevention.
I fear we are too bold upon your rest. But morrow, Brutus, do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. No I, these men that come along with you.
I every man of them, and no man here but honours you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca. This sinner. And this Metellus symbol?
They're all welcome. Now give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution!
No, not an oath. If not, the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, this time's abuse. If these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed, so let high-sighted tyranny range on till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards, and to steal with valour the melting spirits of women, well then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not falter? What other oath than honesty, to honesty engaged, that this shall be, or we will fall for it? Oh, swear, priests and cowards, men cautelous, old feeble carrions, and such suffering souls as welcome wrongs, and to bad causes, swear, such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits. To think that all our cause or our performance do need an oath, and every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, were guilty of a several bastardy, if he did break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Let us not leave him out.
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and by men's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said, his judgment o'erruled our hands. Our youths and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
No, name him not, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Decius well urged. I think it is not meet. Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you do know his means if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course would seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off, and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterwards, for Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, then that we could come by Caesar's spirit, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. Gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary, not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much is sure, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There's no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh this hereafter.
Peace.
It is time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no. For he is superstitious, grown of late. Quite from the opinion he held once of fantasies, of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of the night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can sway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work. I would give his humour the true bent. And
I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Megarius, the fair Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He doth love me well, and I have given him reasons. Fetch him but hither, and I'll fashion him.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. Good friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks, but on our purposes. But bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you, everyone. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep. It is no matter. Enjoy the honey dew of slumber. Thou's no figures nor no fantasies which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepst so sound.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further. Then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted. Yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled. And withal, hoping it was but an effect of humour which sometime hath its hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Oh, dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
Oh, I am not well in health. That is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. The good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humours of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offence within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which should incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 that did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself but, as it were, in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus' harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honourable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were so, then should I know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you are no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded. Oh, tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I made strong proof of my constancy fancy giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secret?
Oh, ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Good Portia, go in, O pile, and by and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Lucius, who's that knocked?
There is a sick man that would speak with you.
Caius Ligarius, the Ventellus spake of. Boy, stand aside. But Caius Ligarius, how?
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time have you chose our brave Caius. I would you were not sick.
I am not sick. If Brutus have in mind any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you healthful ear to hear of it?
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins. Thou, like an exorcist, hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible, yea, get the better of them. What to do?
A piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole whom we must make sick?
That must we also. What it is, my Caius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done.
Set on thy foot, and with a heart new fired, I'll follow you to do I know not what. But it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me then.
Heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, help hold they murder Caesar. Who's within? My lord. Go with the priests, do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success. I will, my lord.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me now look but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, though they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded forth their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds, in ranks and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the capital. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided, whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, with these predictions out of the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death a necessary end will come when it will come. What say the augurers?
They would not have you stir forth today.
Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the people.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart, if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions, littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And for thy humour, I will stay at home today. Here's Decius Brutus, she shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not, falser. I will not come today, tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeard to tell Gravia the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statuary, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents of evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all a misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathe, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This, by Calpurnia's dream, is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say. And know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you should send word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock act to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time, till Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did take note of them. Give me my robe, or I will go. And look where Publius has come to fetch me. Welcome, Publius.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome. What Brutus, the youth heard so early too. Guard, Marcasca, Caius Flaccarius. What is the clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony that revels longer nights is notwithstanding up. Morrow, Antony, so to most noble Caesar. Bid them prepare within, I'm to be blamed, to be thus waited for. And now, sinner, now Metellus, what's Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you.
Caesar, I shall. And so near will I be that your best friend shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
that every like were not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius, come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Legarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and 'tis bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee, thy lover Artemidorus. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou reach this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
Trebonius doth desire you to order at your best leisure. This is humble suit.
O Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit which touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourself shall be lost, sir.
Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly.
What is the fellow mad?
Selected place. Brought over your petitions in the street, come to the
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Very well.
What said Popilius, Lena? We wish today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes the Caesar mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time. For look you, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed, press near, and secondly.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat an humble heart.
I must prevent these, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood, as will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree was banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than mine own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand. But not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have immediate freedom of refuge.
Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one that shine. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in that number, I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, and shakes of motion, and that I am he that may little show it, even in this. But I was constant, Simba should be banished, and constant to remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar!
Hence wilt thou lift up Olympus.
Great Caesar!
Not Brutus, bootless kneel.
Speak hand from me!
Et tu, Brute, and false Caesar.
Liberty. Freedom. Tyranny is dead. Run hence. Proclaim. Cry it about the streets. Shout to the common pulpit and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Come to the pulpit.
And Cassius too!
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together, some friend of Caesar to Johnson. Standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person. Not to no Roman else, so tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest the people rushing on us may do your age some mischief.
Do so. And let no man abide this deed, but we the doers.
Where is Antony?
Cedrus house amazed! Men, wives, and children stare out and run as it were doomsday!
Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days forth that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life, cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted o'er, in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Who comes here? The friend of Antony.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I loved Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus throughout the hazards of this untrod state, with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him, come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor, depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but yet have I a mind which fears him greatly, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
Here comes Antony.
mighty Caesar. Dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils, shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich by the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard, now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place shall please me so, no mean of death, as here by Caesar and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act you see we do, yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. To you, our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice and our hearts of brother's temper do receive you in with all good love, kind thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear. Then we will deliver you the cause, why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, sinner. And my valiant Casca. Yours. Oh, last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, it is true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee, dearer than thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble in the presence of thy corse, had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood? It would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall. And here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lethe. O world, thou wast a forest to his heart. And this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer strucken by many princes dost thou here lie?
Mark Antony!
Pardon me, Caius Cassius! The enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends? Or shall we arm and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, am I with you all and love you all, upon this hope, that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard, that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek. And am moreover suitor, that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
Under your pardon. I will myself under the pulpit first and give the reasons of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I shall protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rites and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall, I like it not.
Mark Antony, here take your Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak from the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voicened utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deed. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Arte by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did write for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth,
Oh, Caesar! Thine heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, began to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this corse into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men. Lend me your hand.
countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect unto mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more.
He loved Rome more!
Had you rather Caesar were living, to die all slaves, or that Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak for him, have I offended? Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak for him, have I offended? Who is here so vile that would not love his country? If any speak for him, have I offended? I pause for a reply. Then none have I offended. No! I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes his body mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in Caesar's death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have that same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death.
With his ancestors!
Aye! Let him be Caesar!
Aye, let him be Caesar!
Shall be crowned in Brutus! Let him be Caesar! Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar! Hail Caesar!
Good countrymen! My countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
he say of Brutus? He says for Brutus' sake he finds himself be only to himself. Don't best thee speak no harm of Brutus here!
Aye! This Caesar was a tyrant!
Aye! He was a tyrant! 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 He was a tyrant!
Lend me your ear! I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him!
He was a
tyrant! The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar.
He was a tyrant!
A noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious.
Aye!
If it were so, it was a grievous fault.
It was a grievous fault!
Aye! Grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honourable man. Are they all honourable men? Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend.
His friend?
Just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious.
Aye.
Brutus is an honourable man.
Aye.
He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious?
But he was ambitious.
War hath cried. Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sternness.
Yet Brutus said he was ambitious.
Aye! Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honourable man. Aye! You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure, he is an honourable man.
Honourable!
I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Now a fled to brutish beasts and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his saying.
If you consider the righting of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Mark his words. He would not take the crown. Therefore, it is certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him. He begins again to speak.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who, as you all know, are honourable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honourable men.
But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. His will? Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. They would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yea, beg a hair of him for memory, and dye it. Mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue. Gentle friends, I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not stones, but men, and being men. Hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. Will you be patient? You stay a while. I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wronged the honorable men whose daggers had stabbed Caesar. I do fear it. They were traitors. Honorable men. You will compel me then to read the will. Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave? If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervii. Look! In this place ran Cassius' dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made! Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly not to know. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stab, in gratitude, more strong than traitors' arms quite vanquished him, then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen, when I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls. What? Weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here! Here is himself, marred as you see with traitors!
Oh, most noble Caesar!
Piteous spectacle.
Ah, my bloody side.
They are traitors! Villains!
We will be revenged!
Sweet friends! Let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny! They that have done this deed are honourable! What private grief they have, alas, I know not that made them do it. They are wise and honourable, and will no doubt with reasons answer. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved my friend, and that they know full well, and gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, Baron Antony would ruffle up your spirits, and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar, that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll mutiny! We'll burn the house of Brutus! Away then! Seek the conspirators!
Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you.
The will!
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives. To every several man, 75 drachmas! Moreover, he hath left you all his wards.
All his wards!
His private arbours, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber.
His orchards?
He hath left them you, and to your heirs forever. Common pleasures, to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a season. When comes such another?
Away we'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands we'll fire the traitor's house.
Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. Hanaphilus!
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And then will I straight to visit him.
He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I had him save Brutus and Cassius, who rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice of the people, how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius!
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charged my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly, you are best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man, directly and truly, wisely and briefly, wisely I say I am a bachelor.
That's as much as to say they're fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed.
Directly I'm going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
The matter is answered directly.
Your dwelling, sir. Briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir. Truly.
Truly, my name is Sinner.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Sinner the poet. I am Sinner the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses. Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Sinner.
Tis no matter. His name's Sinner. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him. Going.